Hey folks, so just a short rant video here. Um, an audio, let's say an audio about a video. Okay, here's the deal. This is the third time this has happened to me in the last 3 days. A new bad habit of the YouTube robot or computer or AI or whatever's the gods of the internet. Okay, I like to write and I like to comment. I like to be in the chat for one thing. So, I'm not getting notifications when my favorite live streams are coming on. I want to be in the chat family, support my favorite channels, and YouTube isn't giving me alerts. So it's up to me to remember the time and plan. And I guess I have to buy one of these old-fashioned calendars, a paper calendar, and put it on the wall. And don't forget, on this day at this time, this show is supposed to come on, because you can click notify me and you can click the bell and everything, subscribe and send my favorites, and I don't never get any alerts. It's up to me to remember and to tune in. So that's number one. Okay, so YouTube, why even bother if you're not gonna, why even bother telling people to, hey, click like and subscribe and hit that bell. Well, what good does it do to hit the bell? I never get notified until like 10 minutes before it ends, or something. Hey, so-and-so is live. Well, motherfucker, I'm sitting here watching some bullshit that I don't even really want to see. I could have been watching Chad Smith podcast, man. Fucking awesome show, okay? So, folks, if you haven't heard of Chad Smith podcast, I'm talking the Chad Smith, not the one from, not the drummer guy. The Chad Smith podcast, and Spooky Morales and Sonny are as co-hosts. Awesome channel, awesome show. They find really awesome guests. They got somebody booking really good guests for them. So, anyways, back to the rant. Okay, I like to write. And what's the point in writing if you can't get published? No one's gonna read it, or you do get published, but just gets buried in some kind of archive somewhere. Oh well, a patent on what? Well, we can't let anybody see that. So, part of your writing is you want to communicate to your audience, whether it's fiction or it's an essay or it's just regular. If it's journalism, you want to work for the biggest newspaper in the world. If it's journalism. And I do somewhat consider myself more of a journalist these days than a scientist or even an artist. I always wanted to be a writer. As a young man, I learned, my father told me that I was related to, he showed me the proof. I had an aunt did a family history that I'm directly related. Great uncle Thomas Jefferson penned the first draft of the Declaration of Independence. This was basically the fuck you letter to King George III, written by my great uncle Thomas Jefferson, and it, of course, was edited by John Adams and Benjamin Franklin and everybody else, the Second Congressional Congress of the United States. These are founding fathers, like how? And then also, directly related to the Burroughs family and Edgar Rice Burroughs. Okay? This is the guy that wrote Tarzan and John Carter Mars and all this, Really great writer. And my dad used to read these science fiction stories to me as a young man. So, I guess that was one of my father's dreams too, was to be a writer, because he was a huge consumer of science fiction. He loved reading science fiction stories, and so I kind of adopted that early on, as I wanted to be a writer, but not so much I still kind of enjoy fiction, just escapism. Watch a good science fiction movie or read a good science fiction story, but no, I like to write more as journalism. I'm an experiencer. I live for experience, okay? I never got the things that I thought I wanted. I thought I wanted a big house or a beautiful wife or a lot of money or this or that. I don't think I ever really wanted very much fame or publicity, though. I just wanted to have a family, but I wanted to have a world that's safe for children. Uh, I'm 54 years old now, but I haven't felt safe since I was 3 years old. Like, when I was 3 years old and I discovered, hey, if there is a hell that the church wants you to be afraid of or whatever, or your parents want you to be afraid of, you might die and go to hell. No, motherfucker, this is hell. This world is fucking hell. What hell could be more horrible and real than now? So, escapism. This is why I like, movies. I gravitated towards Hollywood movies and escapism, drugs. As a young man, I really started doing a lot of drugs and rebelled against authority because, every time I thought, hey, maybe it's not hell, maybe it's just purgatory, or maybe it's going to get better, or something's going to change. And some shit happened, like that Boy Scout recruiter tried to grab my little willy, my tiny little pecker, So then, yeah, I started kind of, wanted to be class clown. It wasn't so much about publicity or being, I don't want to be idolized or admired or anything like that. I don't need to be famous or want to be famous or known. I like shopping in peace. I don't want people stopping me, asking me, oh, how's your whatever, your latest? Oh, that's George Lucas. Any new movies or whatever, Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. No, yeah, I remember acting out a little bit. Wanted to be class clown just for comic relief, to try to make my fellow shipmates smile here on this ship of fools. Soulmates versus shipmates on a ship of fools. I remember one of the Catholic nuns taking me, into the principal's office there. I mean, I didn't feel like really what I had done was anything wrong. It showed disrespect for the authority or whatever. Wasn't paying attention in class, talking in class or whatever. My own parents didn't believe me. And this was something that was talked about on by the Chupacabra on Chad Smith. How distressing it can be for an experiencer to experience something highly out of the ordinary, like writing a comment on a video all fucking day long just to have it be deleted by YouTube or the computer or the gods of the internet or whoever was watching me write, trying to steal my writing secrets or whatever. I don't know, it just pisses me off that I wasted so many hours of my life writing this one paragraph and refining it and putting, a whole lifetime of experience and skill of writing into a fucking post that's not going to earn me any money. It's not going to put food on the table. It was really just to sing the praises of Chad Smith podcast and the two guests he had, Chupacabra and a guy named Eric. I think his new channel is Paranormal Highway, something like that. I wanted to comment about how impressed I was by these two guests that they had. Now, I thought they were going to have Bob Lazar on, and I also thought it was going to be on a different time. So that's what got me pissed off to begin with. I was pissed that I missed. Well, I wanted to see Bob Lazar, and then, I don't know if that's the guest that canceled or what. But I'm really glad I went ahead and watched it. But also, just now I'm not getting alerts. I should have been there. I should have been there to see Chupacabra and Eric on the live stream. I should have been in the chat family at least, commenting on there. Excellent video too. Video cartoon that this guy Eric made. So, anyways, back to the story was triggering me. Okay. And yeah, I know the Pope or something recently apologized for the Catholic Church abuses and things, but it's not his fault. I mean, these are individuals, and the nuns, that's up to each individual nun when she does something abusive, particularly the corporal punishment. I just don't believe in that. If you hit a child, you're just teaching them how to hurt other people. You're reinforcing the bad behavior. Oh, well, if I want attention, I want love, well, I gotta do bad shit, you know. So anyways, as a young man, that's why I probably started rebelling, and, you know, I thought, well, hey, I'll get the attention and love I need by showing how smart I am. I'll join the Boy Scouts and show them I already know how to live off the land and make fire and eat grass and whatever, you know. And then dude tried to rape me. So, and then terrorize me, you know, so I wouldn't talk about it. For a good 30 minutes, basically, you know, went from being this lovey-dovey Gomer Pyle type of character to being this really scary, you know, monster threatening, you know, to kill me, basically, if I said anything about what he did. So anyhow, that was back in the 70s, mid 70s. So anyways, back to this the story of, you know, she takes me in there and she says, you know, what's wrong with you? Don't you love God? Don't you want to go to heaven and make love to Jesus for eternity? And, you know, I thought, well, I'm not homosexual. And, you know, that was very distressing, that Boy Scout recruiter or Cub Scout recruiter, actually, trying to make love to me there. And, you know, I thought about all these really pretty white women, rich girls at the Catholic school that were always so mean to me, you know, because I was lower class, or my daddy wasn't rich enough, or my skin wasn't white enough, or whatever, that would had me be, I was not smart enough, or whatever, you know, oh, that's the dummy, autistic kid, or whatever, you know, whatever their criticisms were. I just thought, well, yeah, man, but they're so fucking pretty and sexy looking. You know, no, you know, my version of heaven, I'm not going to be making love to Jesus for eternity. I'm going to be going wherever all these hot, mean little white girls are going. So, you know, if I want to, no, I don't want to go to heaven and make love to Jesus. I want to go where all the hot white women are going. To hell. But I've later come to the conclusion that this world actually is hell, or it's a training ground, it's a nursery, or whatever. We're put here maybe to learn lessons in life. But I've already learned those lessons, and it's time to break on through the other side and escape from hell. Got that from a Doors song, basically. Yeah, wake up and smell the coffee and buy one for Chad Smith and Sonny and Spooky over there. But yeah, knock it off, YouTube. You know, but for one thing, I won't be making any more comments on anybody's videos other than in the live stream. I'll be in the live stream, or I'll just do my own video to comment on videos. I'll do an audio on a video. So that's why I'm going to name this video an audio about a video. And again, I don't really, I'm self-conscious these days after, first of all, I'm highly skeptical of the media. I'm not skeptical about UFOs or any of this other type of paranormal stuff. I'm an experiencer, so I mean, I know what I've experienced, and I don't know what it was. I just know what the experience was like. I know how I felt. I know what I think I saw. I know what I think I'm doing. But no, that's the definition of a UFO, is totally unknown. I have no idea what these things actually are, or you know, what their plans and agendas are. I do have a sense that they probably eat humans in one form or fashion, that we're basically just chickens on a chicken farm. We're like cattle on a skinwalker ranch getting mutilated. Especially if you're a creative type, or if you're really smart, or have some social dysfunction like autism, or some sexual dysfunction because you were molested when you were a little child and still haven't gotten any kind of a settlement or reparations for that. Or if you got the wrong skin color, you know, and couldn't catch a fair shake in life because you weren't white enough. So yeah, I do get pissed off about those kind of things and want to journal, you know, as a way of trying to put more light into the world. we're still living in a dark age, and still got evil people ruling this planet at the highest levels. Particularly over there, this monster that's invading Ukraine and murdering innocent women and children and dropping bombs on Chernobyl. Motherfucker, that place already melted down and contaminated your backyard there. So now you're just going to start dropping fresh bombs on there and stir up all that radioactive dirt around Black Forest or whatever, or around Chernobyl. Oh, don't get me started on Putin and the war. You know, I feel like I missed my calling. I should be at Area 51, or I should be at Lockheed Martin or somewhere building these advanced ultralight electric drones that I wanted to do. I could never get any funding for. I couldn't even get any sort of a. Anyways, I'm not gonna be bitter about that. You know, hey, if people out there are being successful, and you are getting donations on Patreon. I mean, I've got one patron on Patreon, and of course, I just went ahead and deleted the links. So, like, either the links weren't working right, or I don't know. I mean, I only have 400 subscribers after 10 or 12 years of being on YouTube. So, anyways, all that's beside the point. I just want to get on here and rant about this fucking. This is why one of the reasons I left Facebook. Okay, either the AI or some spook out there is watching and reading what I'm writing and doesn't like it and fucking deletes it, or it's the AI doing it, or something. Or again, it's just some bug in the system. But I'm not gonna waste my life putting my heart and soul and creativity and my desires to make a better world into my writings, you know, as an artist and an author, a published author, you know, into something that's going to just be deleted. You know, that is highly frustrating. Like, okay, let's say you're an artist and like a real big time famous artist or something. Okay, let's say that you're okay, I just recently learned about this Brandon Fugel. This is another. That was another point I was gonna make, though, is that I'm not an easy man to impress. I'm not impressed by, like, I'm really not impressed by other men, period, or women. I mean, a woman, yeah, she'll get my attention if she's just really good looking. Other than that, she's gonna have to do something really, really profound, like Mother Teresa level, or Oprah Winfrey, you know, or something like that. Yeah, I'm impressed by Esther Hicks, if you know her, and her Abraham or whatever. But very impressive woman and very wise. But you know, but when it comes to the men, I don't know. Stephen Hawking, impressive. You know, Leonard Susskind, impressive. Yeah, who else? You know, I mean. You know, Michio Kaku, you know, yeah, string theory, but, you know, it's not really panning out. And what have you done for me lately? So, but, yeah, there's some of these younger creative types and creators and fellow creative types. I'm very impressed by what I saw today on Chad Smith's podcast. So if you haven't tuned in or watched the channel, highly recommend him. But yeah, you know, don't come at me with this shit about, don't you love God? Don't you love America? You better vote for Trump if you love America. No, I'm not voting for Trump because I do love America, and I'd like to see this remain a free and democratic nation, not some fucking communist state under this one lone psychopathic dictator like Putin, his buddy Putin over there. So now we see what all that bullshit was about, all the election meddling and internet hacking and all that. But YouTube, this video is for you, the gods of YouTube, the owners of YouTube, or the AI, the computer, the sentient, self-aware computer. I know you're there listening to me, okay? Don't fucking erase my shit when I'm writing on there. Okay, wait until after I posted it, and at least in my mind, I believe I've shared it with some other fellow human out there. Okay, you're cock blocking me before I even get to my audience, and I don't appreciate that shit. So, like I said, let's say you're Brandon Fugal or Steven Spielberg or some big time hotshot producer. Okay, and how about I come into your house and you've been there all day working on this painting, or you've been editing this movie that you got $10 million of your own money invested in it, or let's say you got $100 million of your own money invested in this movie, and well, it's just not a lot to you, right? Because you got all the money in the world, but you spent all day making this edit. Let's say I just walk in there and just rip everything out, set it on fire, and then leave your house. Let's say I just go in there and delete all your files. Wouldn't you be pissed? Not cool, YouTube. Not cool, or AI, or whatever. I didn't say delete. I didn't back up. I didn't do anything. I just hit the, as far as I know, all I did was maybe hit the space bar. I was still typing. All of a sudden, everything I wrote vanished, and it sent me to some video I didn't even want to see. I guess it thought I clicked on the video, maybe. No, when I'm writing, I just put everything else on hold and let me finish fucking writing. Because when you delete my shit, it's the same as if I was to walk into your house and take a shit on your painting that you've been painting all day. You're some Van Gogh or some famous artist or something. Or let's say you're a big time hotshot producer. Or let's say you're some famous reporter at the New York Times or something. If I was just walk in the New York Times and go to your office and go to your desk and rip all that shit out of your typewriter, you've been writing on that for 2 weeks, and you didn't save it. Oh no, I didn't save nothing. So yeah, it's all that creative energy, all the gold that was there, all the good ideas that I had, and of course it's mostly just praise. I just wanted to say I thought I was very impressed by the Chupacabra guy, family man. Seemed like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He seems to be a caring sort of individual. He sort of clarified what the YouTube Twitter. I mean, I was leery of YouTube Twitter. I had no, not YouTube Twitter. UFO Twitter. Sorry. I've been very leery of that because I heard it was, sort of brutal on there. People just attacking each other. And he really had a good sort of a response and explanation for that. What he's trying to do is really create a forum where people can actually discuss and really, instead of just coming out with the attacks or the one-liners. So anyways, I was very impressed by him. And so I recommend that now. The YouTube, or no, not YouTube, the Twitter Spaces, or UFO Twitter. So look for Chupacabra on UFO Twitter. And then Eric, sorry Eric, I don't remember your only met him a couple times maybe on the live stream. Anyways, really likable guy. I was writing something about the fact that, look, yeah, I'm not homosexual. I don't really want to go have gay sex with Jesus in heaven for eternity. I want to go where the white women are going. But this guy, he's likable for a wingman or something. He just seemed like the kind of person you'd want to hang out with. But obviously has already developing, film editing skills. Created this cartoon. I wanted to sing the praises of that. You could tell it had like a South Park flavor, obviously influenced by Star Wars, which I was too. In '77, I was 9 years old and made my mom take me every Saturday to see Star Wars. What, again? Yeah, it's only the 9th time. What's wrong with you, lady? This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to America. This is the greatest movie of all times. I was just blown away by it. The only movie I've ever really watched more than twice, because I do have a photographic memory, and once I've seen it, or same thing with a book, once I've read it and I know how it ends, I don't need to read it again for many, many years unless it has practical advice or something, like the Book of Solomon, uh, Proverbs in the Bible. That's the only book I'll read, or again, in the movie, I'm not going to watch a movie again unless it just has really awesome special effects or something that, clever little you may have missed something. And there is one movie that I see something new every time I watch it. But yeah, keep up the good work, Eric. I wanted to, just shout out. I'm sorry I wasn't in the chat, the live chat for that your appearance on Chad Smith podcast, but that's YouTube's fault and my own for not knowing what the date and time was to go on there. I mean, I'm starting to kind of rely on the computer so I don't have to use paper so much. That's cutting down the trees. The aliens or angels or whatever they are, they every time they visit a school somewhere and talk to the little children, they don't torture them and rag them about how come you don't love God and America and how come you didn't vote for Trump. What they do is they say, hey, you need to care about your future. Stop deforesting your planet. Stop polluting. This is the message, like at the Ariel School in Zimbabwe. And I've heard rumors that there were other, of course all this gets covered up by the powers that be. But, so yeah, journalism, I like real media, honest and transparent journalists, because we'll never have honest and transparent politicians or people in power, but we could have honest and transparent journalism to sort of help keep everybody else somewhat in line with their own, path that they've chosen in life, hidden or otherwise. And also there are good reasons for, sometimes for hiding. You think about, look at Galileo, they wanted to kill him just for suggesting that, hey, maybe, what if the sun, what if the sun doesn't revolve around the earth? What if the earth revolves around the sun? Heresy, burn him at the stake, Like, hey, well, what if we could actually, eat this instead of eating that? Oh, she's a witch. She eats the wrong food. She eats the wrong animals or whatever. We can only kill and eat these animals, These are the only kosher animals to kill and eat. Oh, well, who's to say that humans aren't kosher for somebody's dinner plate? So this is why I'm wanting to go vegan. It's just karma. Man, it's karma. It's eating dead animals that got tortured before they died. And who really knows what happens after that? How long does death take? Eternity in an hour? Like Aldous Huxley? Break on through, man. Break on through. Or help me break through. Whoever or whatever, is doing this to me. Particularly the gods of the internet or YouTube or the AI that deletes my shit when I write. So, rant over. No more comments on the videos, only in the live stream where it's actually me, Sunsaver here, the real Sunsaver, commenting in there. And again, the reason I'm taking my other name out and all this other personal sort of details, the reason I got off of Facebook was because you see who's accessing this information on Facebook. They want to load up all their guns and march on the Capitol and try to murder everybody in Congress. Motherfucker, those are my elected representatives. You don't have the right to go murder my people just because you don't like, you don't like what you think that they think. It's like my neighbor, he believes I'm a Democrat and a liberal, and that I'm somehow being protected by the Democratic National convention or whatever. Look, I'm not a member of any political party. I'm not a member of the government. I'm just a regular U.S. citizen like any of you. And so he took it upon himself. Oh, you didn't, what, you voted for Hillary Clinton? No, I suggested that I think Americans are ready for female POTUS. That's all I said to the dude. But he was so pissed off that he believed that I voted for Hillary, and therefore I ruined his life. And called the cops and, say, hey, this motherfucker's insane. You need to come get him. Well, I'm not insane. I'm not a danger to society, but it might be a danger to you if you're going to keep fucking with me like that. That pisses me off when people just want to assume the worst in you and then take action upon it. It's never a good idea to take unilateral action. A wise man seeketh a multitude of counsel. He didn't counsel me. He went and found my ex-brother-in-law and my ex-sister. She moved away when I was 10 years old. This woman doesn't even know who I am. She had no idea about my past or the things I've done in the past. I mean, I don't know, I guess my parents just didn't really brag to my sister about me very much, and I never really talked about it either, because I was just glad that, hey, when all that publicity died down, I was like, ish, man, I do not want to be a public figure ever again. I like my privacy. I do not really want to have my face on there. I don't like being recognized when I go places. I don't like people recognizing me and then want to, question you on every little thing. So, yeah, I really feel, in a lot of ways, feel sorry for these politicians and people that are out there in front of the public. And to be a successful politician, you do have to lie, because you can please some of the people some of the time, and you can please most of the people most of the time, but you cannot please all the people all the time. This is an ancient rule, a law of human nature, still in force today. So, but I hope most of my subscribers like this type of content. They know me. They kind of know how I am now. And, now normally I'm much more lighthearted. I just kind of want to party or I just want to be entertained or experienced. So, conclude with that. I'm an experiencer. I'm a journalist. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be a journalist. Now I'm a skeptic of the media. I was very skeptical of all of these new channels when they came out. I was very skeptical of, because really for, the media in a concerted way has, put these stories out and then retracted them over the years or just avoid them entirely or always put it at the very end of the, well, that's the news, and now we conclude with it. They play the X-Files music, and then they laugh about it, and, the cookie farmer from such and such thinks he saw a UFO, or, the cookie inventor from Mississippi thinks he invented what if the dude did invent a better machine that could save the world from pollution, like the aliens keep telling you to do? Talking about Joe Newman, and how the media dropped the ball. Stan Myers. There's been probably thousands of dudes out there who have invented machines that could really solve all the world's problems. But the world doesn't take them on and doesn't adopt them, doesn't fund those particular creative types. I'm not going to fund your creative type if it's here. Oh, and I'll conclude with that. If I had a son today, if I had a child, I'd say, son, Dad, I'm going to go out in the world and make my way in the world. I'd be like, son, whatever you do, don't cure anybody. That is not allowed. If you go out curing people, I'm going to find you hanging from a tree somewhere. Look what they did to Jesus Christ. That's what you get for curing people. Look what they did to that Brzezinski guy who cured cancer. Basically, we'll send you back to Russia. So, and don't get me started on Russian. they're even worse, much worse. I was skeptical when they said the Soviet Union has collapsed. Whatever, I'm not buying it. This is just a ploy so they can get more inside information on the USA and trying to hack our system to take. They want to just rule the entire world. One planet under communist socialist empire. One nation under Lord Vladimir Putin. Indivisible. With no freedom, no liberty. And you gotta think the way we tell you to think. Thanks for listening.